As the continuation of bows continued to expand and be redesigned, what first came around was the recurve bow. Now, the recurve bow that we know nowadays is usually a takedown iteration of it, which is a bow that's broken into three parts and screwed together once you need to use it, making it compact, lightweight. You can travel with it. Now, one of the first recurves out there wasn't actually a takedown version, as we were so fond of seeing. It was a longbow that had a recurve tip. The reason for these recurve tips, ideally, is by doing that curve into the tip, you stored more initial energy into the string. There's more tension being put on the string before you even start drawing it back. And when you do that, along with the recurve being a bow, as you pull back, the recurve stored more energy than the longbow on its own could, which in turn would give you more power behind the bow. When it comes to compound bows, I've done a lot of research on these, and I'm not really sure which the first compound bow is out there because there's a lot of speculations. Some people think this person did it, some people that people did it. But essentially what the compound bow, the way it works is the pulley system allows you to draw the string out, and when it gets to a certain place, it does what's called a let-off. And that let-off, essentially the pulleys take all the force and energy being stored, they store them into those pulleys, so that way you don't have to have the energy pulling against your arm that's holding onto the arrow. This allows you to take more time to better focus on your aim. So another reason the compound bow has such an advantage over many more traditional bows is the gears on it that allow the let-off. Now, when these let-off pulleys go into action, what it does is it then stores the energy from the bowstring into the pulley system until you're ready to release the string. And what this allows you to do is have a better accuracy because you're able to sit there and fine-tune your target without having fatigue set on. That's going to make your arm shake, make your bow shake, and set off your targeting. So it's not going to target automatically like a computer, but it's going to allow you to have saved energy to target better and more accurately without having to worry about shake and fatigue. Now, when using compound bows, and I talked about the effects of carbon fiber and fiberglass arrows exploding, you have a higher chance of that happening on something like a compound bow because even though it stores the energy in the pulleys until you release, when you do release, there's often more pounds per square inch on the arrow shaft being exerted, and that's what's going to cause it to shatter. So oftentimes when you see people who have exploded arrows through their arms, it's usually because it was being shot on a compound bow, or often even a crossbow. I really recommend when using compound bows or any kind of bow to try to stay away from fiberglass and carbon fiber. I know they're cheap and they're inexpensive and they're really easy to use, but the downside of having to worry about that thing exploding and taking out your arm so you can't even use or potentially not even make it back to your car from a hunting site, that's always kind of put me off wanting to use those.